My fiance suddenly broke up with me, but the real shock came when I threw her out of my house and asked her to return the engagement ring. She looked at me in disbelief, as if she couldn't grasp that life had changed, even though she was the one who ended everything. The strange part? When I asked her for the ring, she acted as if I'd asked for the impossible. Fiance dumped me, but shocked, I threw her out of my house and took back the ring. So where do I even start with this? My ex-fiance, Laura, dumped me out of nowhere. And honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened. I thought everything was good between us, like, yeah, we had our UPS and downs, but who doesn't, right? We've been together for 4 years. We were planning to get married, and then boom. Well, not that word, but you get me. She tells me we need to break up, and her reason, my job. Yeah, you read that right. My damn job at my family's restaurant. Now I get it. My hours are kind of weird. I work evenings, and by the time I'm home, she's already been off work for like 3 or 4 hours. But this isn't news. She's known this since day one. Like before we even got engaged. She knew my schedule was all over the place. I work late shifts Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I'm there from 4:30 to 9 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays a little later, but it's not like I'm never around. We had Sundays, some mornings, and even most of Saturdays before my shift started. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But Laura? Nah. She starts talking about how we barely see each other and that I need to find a new job because she's tired of waiting around for me to get home. Every night she works 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., so she gets off way earlier than me. And I guess she didn't like having to fill that time alone. I mean, it sucks, sure, but I always thought we were making it work. I even offered for her to work with me at the restaurant. I thought it was a pretty solid idea. We could spend more time together. She wouldn't be bored waiting around, and we'd save up more money for the wedding. But nope, she shot that down quick. Said she didn't feel comfortable working for my parents. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. I respected that. I didn't push it because I didn't want her to feel awkward or anything. But then she kept bringing up my job every few weeks. It was like, when are you going to find something better? Or I just don't see how this is sustainable. It started to get on my nerves because, like, how many times do I have to say I'm happy where I'm at? I love working for my family. The restaurant's been in the family for years. And yeah, the hours are long sometimes, but it's worth it. So one night she just sat me down and was like, Ethan, I can't do this anymore. I thought she was kidding at first, but nope, she was dead serious. She told me that if I wasn't going to change jobs, she couldn't see how we could ever get married. It totally blindsided me. I tried to tell her that we could figure it out, like maybe there is a way to balance things better, but she wasn't having any of it. She said she needed more from me, more time, more effort, more commitment to our future, whatever that means. I told her I was committed. I mean, we were literally planning a wedding, so how much more committed can you get? What really stung is that she said she felt like I didn't care enough about her needs. Like, excuse me, I've been busting my ass working late shifts so we could save up for our future. It's not like I'm out partying or ignoring her. I'm working for us. I thought it would count for something, but apparently not. Then she dropped the whole, maybe we should just be friends thing, and man, that was a gut punch. We weren't even in an argument. There was no yelling, no big fight. It was just her sitting there calmly, like she'd been rehearsing this conversation in her head for weeks. I asked her straight up, are you serious? You want to throw all this away because of my job? And she had the nerve to say, it's not just your job, it's the fact that you don't seem willing to change for us. That's when I got pissed. I reminded her that she knew about my schedule before we even got engaged. If it was such a problem for her, why the hell did she agree to marry me in the first place? She got all defensive and said that she thought over time I'd grow out of it and find something else. Like what? Since when is working hard at a family business something you need to grow out of? I'm not going to lie. I felt betrayed. She basically admitted that she was waiting for me to become some different version of myself, and when that didn't happen, she was out. After that conversation, I just avoided her. I couldn't even look at her. I stayed late at work every night because the last thing I wanted to do was come home and sit in the same house with someone who didn't want to be with me anymore. But here's the thing, she didn't leave like I thought. After you break up with someone, especially when you're engaged, you start looking for somewhere else to stay, right? Nope. She kept acting like nothing had changed, like we were just roommates now or something. Every time I came home, she was there chilling on the couch, watching TV like everything was fine. It made me feel sick, honestly. How could she break up with me and still live under my roof like nothing happened? So one night, I finally told her, Laura, you need to move out. We're not together anymore and this isn't working for me. And get this. She looked at me like I had two heads. She was like, are you serious? You're kicking me out. I told her, yeah, I am. We're not getting married anymore, so what's the point of living together? She tried to guilt trip me, saying she had nowhere to go and that I was being heartless for making her leave. At that point, I was just done. I told her she could stay with her parents until she figured things out. And then to top it all off, I asked for the ring back. You think I just slapped her or something? She freaked out, saying I gave it to her and that I couldn't just ask for it back. I told her straight up that ring was for our wedding, and since we're not getting married, I want it back. She called me greedy, said I could afford another one if I really loved her, and that I was being an ASES for trying to kick her out after all we've been through. At that point, I couldn't even argue anymore. I just wanted her gone. So after I told Laura she needed to move out, things got real awkward real fast. I mean, you'd think she would have just packed her bags and left, right? But nope. She stuck around like she was waiting for something. At first, I thought she was just dragging her feet, trying to figure out where to go. I mean, it's not like she didn't have options. Her parents lived nearby, and she's got friends she could crash with. But instead, she just stayed. And I gotta tell you, those few days after the breakup were the most uncomfortable days of my life. We were living like strangers in the same house. She'd sit on one side of the room, I'd be on the other, and it was just this weird silence. No one wanted to be the first to talk. I get home from work, and she'd already be there watching TV or doing her thing. But it felt like this giant elephant was sitting between us, and neither of us wanted to deal with it. But then it got worse. One day I come home, and Laura is sitting at the kitchen table with my mom. Yeah, you read that right, my mom. Apparently, she had called my mom over without even telling me. So I walk in, and they're sitting there having coffee like everything's totally normal. I was so confused. My mom looks at me and goes, Ethan, we need to talk. I was annoyed at that point, but I tried to keep calm. I mean, it's my mom, right? I sit down and Laura starts telling her side of the story, saying she doesn't have anywhere to go and how it's unfair that I'm asking her to move out so soon after the breakup. And then my mom, bless her heart, starts suggesting that maybe we should work something out and that Laura could stay for a bit longer while she figures things out. I couldn't believe it. Like what? I just stared at them for a second before saying, Mom, we're not together anymore. Why would I let her stay here? My mom, always the peacemaker, goes, well, she needs time to figure things out. It's not easy to just up and move, you know? I tried to stay calm, but I was fuming inside. I mean, yeah, it's not easy, but we broke up. We're not a couple anymore, so why should I have to put up with this? I looked at Laura and said, you've had time. It's been almost a week. You need to leave. And then, of course, Laura gets all emotional, saying she thought I was better than this, that she never expected me to just toss her out like trash. She even starts tearing up in front of my mom. And I swear it was like she was trying to make me look like the bad guy. My mom, at this point, starts trying to smooth things over, saying, Ethan, maybe you could give her a little more time. You two were together for so long. It's not easy to just end things like this. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own mom was taking Laura's side. I love my mom, but this was not her call to make. I told her straight up, Mom, this isn't your business. Laura and I are done. She needs to go. And that's when Laura pulls the ultimate guilt trip. She looks me dead in the eyes and says, if you really loved me, you wouldn't be doing this. I thought you cared about me. Man, that hit me hard. I didn't want to be the bad guy here, but at the same time, how long was I supposed to let this drag on? She's the one who ended things, not me. And now she's trying to flip it like I'm the one being unreasonable. I stood my ground, though. I told her I do care, but we're not together anymore, and this isn't your home. You need to move on.